I have this neat book called All Aboard, and it has all these photos of people traveling on trains from the past. And train stations were really big. And you can see all the people with their suitcases, and they even had like little wheelbarrows to take their luggage. Sometimes the trains were driven with coal, and then they also made a steam engine. And here's the conductor yelling, "All aboard!" And if you've seen the Polar Express, you'll know that there was a guy that took your ticket and clicked it. This is a really busy train station. And here's a bunch of people putting their luggage on, and you'll see the train windows open, and they can just put the luggage on through the window. And here's somebody checking tickets. So I'll have this around so you guys can look through that. Okay, here's a book. Look at this. Thrill Ride. Do you think this book would tell me about travel and life in the past? You don't? Why not?
It's a Hot Wheel.
It's a Hot Wheel book. So does this not have pictures from the past?
No.
Which one is about real cars and planes and stuff? This one or this one?
This one.
Why do you say this one? What's different? What's different, Elias?
That one is just like a drawing.
This one is a drawing, isn't it? What's this one have in it? Real photographs. Yeah. So what do we call this one? This is a fiction means make-believe. Do-da, do-da. Fiction means make-believe all the livelong day. What's this one? Non-fiction means real. Right? So which one's going to help us learn about the past? This one. This one is fun though, isn't it? It's still fun. Okay. So I also have this book about life at work, and it's kind of transportation because to do your work, like remember we talked about how the farmers have to get their crops places, so they use trains. Also, if you know any farmers, I bet that you know that they don't use horses to plow the fields anymore. What do they use now? Tractors. Can you imagine how long it would take to plow a field with a tractor? Also, when you were building a new building, look how you would dig the basement. What are they doing? With shovels. How long would that take? Yeah, and now what do we use? We use like a machine that digs it, right? Yeah, and we talked about clothing in the past. Here are some ladies sewing clothes to sell. Now we have factories, and we have machines that help make our clothes, right? And let's see. This man, we talked about food already, right? No, we haven't yet. Never mind. I won't tell you that one then. Oh, here are people making cars. Who asked about how cars were made? It says, long ago, people worked to make a living, and they are putting all the pieces in the car, and you can see how many people it takes. But now we have a lot of machines that help us. So, LES, can you take this around? Because this shows how cars were made. So this book is kind of cool too. We can learn about the past from learning about Amelia Earhart. How many of you have heard of Amelia Earhart? She lived over 100 years ago, and I'll give you a hint. She was the first woman to what? She flew an airplane over the ocean, yeah. And it's kind of cool because it talks about she lived in the 1920s and 1930s, so even before the 1950s. And she said there weren't a lot of jobs, so people were waiting in line to try to get a job and to get stuff to help their family. And it shows an old radio and an old car. Here is Amelia Earhart. She wanted to be the first woman to cross the Atlantic Ocean. It was very dangerous, and many people had died trying, but she did it all by herself, it says. And it's pretty cool to see these old pictures, and she even got to go to the White House and meet the president. And it even shows her testing a parachute. But check out this parachute. Who has not walked around with a picture before? Landon. Check out this parachute. Now that would be a funny way to travel in the past, huh? Do you think people traveled that way or did it for fun?
Did it for fun.
I think did it for fun. This book is pretty neat because it talks about, it's called Grandfather's Journey. And even though there's illustration, the author, Alan Say, wrote this about his grandfather. Look what he had to do to get to America. First, he had to ride on a ship for a really long time. Then he had to take a train. And then it looks like he even walked places. And then he went on another, he went on a riverboat. And he saw all these beautiful places. And there is his daughter. And there's him remembering. So it's kind of a neat book, and it shows pretty traveling stuff. Sometime I'm going to read you guys this book, and it's called The Inventor's Secret, What Thomas Edison Told Henry Ford. Have you ever...
Another book.
Another Henry. This Henry Ford is really famous because do you know what he did? How many of you have heard the word Ford? Who has schema for the word Ford? What does it make you think of, Jace?
A truck.
A truck. Well, Henry Ford invented the first car.
Oh, I see.
And then he invented actually a bunch of cars and then trucks. And this tells you his secret for inventing. Do you want me to read this to you sometime? Okay. I will totally read this. So, did anybody put a question in the bucket that did not get answered? Ellie, what was your question?
Were there even roads?
Were there even roads?
Oh.
That is a good question. And I have a photo album, because remember how we can use books and artifacts and journals and letters? This is pictures of my family. So I'm going to see if I can find any pictures that would show us an answer to that. And I would like to show you actually a lot of these photos because it's kind of interesting. Just 1 second. Okay, I think I found a road. But it doesn't look like roads we have now. Come look, Ellie. What's this road made out of?
Dirt.
Dirt? So I think they had roads made out of dirt, and I will show everybody that. And we did actually see on the crash, you could see that dirt road too, I think. Oh, here's another one. What's it made out of?
Dirt.
Dirt. So did you find your answer?
Yes.
First, roads were made out of dirt. I wonder who invented blacktop.
Maybe the
They were really smart, weren't they? Not Ben Franklin, I don't think so. But I think before, do you remember what I said? Let me see. I think I have a picture of Bluffton, the road, and I think it might show what the first Bluffton road was made of after dirt. It's red.
Right. Oh, wait. That is a
can see the town hall and the vehicles. And I'll hang this up so that you guys can see it. But yeah, the road was made out of brick. What do you know about bricks laying down on the ground? Are they very smooth?
No.
Are they better than a dirt road?
Yeah.
If the bricks got wet, would it get muddy?
Yeah.
No, but a dirt road, you can imagine how hard it would be to drive a car on a road that was made out of dirt and it got all muddy, right? Your tires would get stuck. But if you had a road made out of bricks, it would be bumpy but still good. If you want to drive on a brick road, if you go to Columbus Grove, they still have some roads made out of brick and you can see how bumpy it feels. But then once people invented blacktop, eventually Bluffton, they just put blacktop over top of the brick. But if they ever do road work and have to dig under the road, you can still see the brick roads that were under the road. Yeah, I know, it's pretty cool. Okay.